Welcome back to the Math Professors. Today I'm going to cover a confidence interval for proportion, and specifically we're going to use an example of Mendel's genetics. This will show us how we can use a confidence interval to be able to test theories in science. So let's get started. In order to replicate Mendel's genetic experiment, a researcher had offspring of 168 yellow and 522 green pea pods. Determine the best point estimate for the population proportion of yellow peas. So what we're asking for in this case is they want to know what's the proportion of yellow peas. Now, what we're doing is the proportion of yellow peas when we ask for the best point estimate. What we're actually talking about is what is the sample proportion as opposed to the population proportion. So we're estimating the population proportion. So p hat is going to be equal to the proportion of yellow for the sample, and what we know is this is going to be yellow pea pods over our total. So what I know is I'm going to have 168 yellow pea pods. The total is going to be 168 plus 522. So we're going to have 168 all over 690 peas. I'm going to write this as a decimal, rounded to 3 sig figs, because this is a discrete probability distribution. So this is 0.243. Now I want to construct a 95% confidence interval estimate for the proportion of yellow peas. And what we know is we're going to use p hat to do this, and the formula for a confidence interval says that, I'm going to write this as CI for confidence interval, is done by p hat minus E less than the population proportion less than p hat plus E. So note that we're estimating the population proportion, and we're estimating it between these two, values we're going to find. Now, E is going to be found by, how many standard deviations. So we're going to need a z-score. We say z alpha over 2, where alpha over 2 is going to be the area in the right-hand tail, multiplied by the standard deviation of our sample proportion. So this is going to be p hat, q hat, all over n. So it's just number of standard deviations, what this says. So I have this center, plus or minus a number of standard deviations. All right, so in order to find these things, I need to know some values. So first, we have to find, we're going to need p hat, and we already did that, it's 0.243. We're going to need q hat. Well, this is going to be the proportion of yellow. So the proportion of green can be found, by hand if you want to. It can be 522 over the total. Or you can just do 1 minus 0.243, and that'll give you the exact same value, which is going to come back as 0.757. And then we're also going to need n. So really what I'm doing is I know I need p hat, and then I need E. Now E is built of a z-score plus I'm going to need p hat, q hat, n. So I'm going to have to find all these values, which is what I'm doing right now. So this is going to be equal to 690. Now I'm also going to need to know that z-score. So I'm going to need to know what is z alpha over 2. Well, your z-score is tied to confidence, and they say they want to be 95% confident. And I have my students draw the picture every time. So what I need is a bell-shaped curve, and what I would need is the center of that bell to have 95% confidence, which means that I'm going to have two tails over here. I'm going to have one tail over here and one tail over here. And we call these tails alpha over 2. So they're going to have area of alpha over 2. Alpha being, what's missing. So if 95% is the middle, then I know that 5% is going to be missing. And I'm going to have to cut this in half because if I have 2.5%, which is going to be over here, I'm also going to have the same, 2.5% over here. And we can see that this is clearly working because 95% in the middle, it's going to have a total area underneath the curve of 1. Now our goal is to find, this z-score that makes that true, and we call this z of this alpha over 2. So in this case, this is going to be z of alpha over 2 is 0.025. This z-score is going to be tied to this 2.5% area. So now, in order to do this, we'll pull up our z-score table. What we need to do is we need to find this. Actually, we have to find the area to the left. Now, what we have is we know that the area to the right, in this tail is going to be 0.025. So in order to find the area to the left of this, I need to know, what is the total sum of the area to the left. Now remember, that includes this 95%. That also includes this 2.5%. So we know that the complete area to the left is going to be 0.975. So I can see that, this blue area plus this pink area in the right-hand tail, this plus this will add to 1, because again, the sum of the entire area is equal to 1. The reason why we care about area to the left is because usually when we use a z-score table, it's the accumulative area to the left. So if I can find this number in the body of that table, which is going to be right here, and then I need to track it back to the z-score. So track it over here, you can see it's 1.9. Track it up here is going to be 0.06. So this is going to give us a value of 1.96. So that's our z-alpha2 is 1.96, which now means I can go ahead and find my error because I have all the things. I have my z-score, p hat, q hat, and n. So z-score is 1.96, which is going to go here. I have the square root of p hat, which is 0.243, multiplied by q hat is 0.757, and this is all going to be over the total, or n, which is going to be equal to 690. So plug this into our calculator, and what we're going to get is 0.0320. I would usually go a couple more, but there's a couple of zeros after that. So that's what this E routes to. Now remember that your confidence interval is built from this. It's that point estimate plus or minus your error. So what I'm going to do is all I have to do is just add and subtract these two numbers, and that's going to create my confidence interval. So that confidence interval, p hat, which is 0.243, minus your error, which is going to be 0.032, less than the population probability, and then the same two numbers except a plus. Now remember, we won't know the true population probability. What we'll know is it's just bounded between, these two numbers. So when I simplify this, I'm going to get 0.211 less than p less than 0.275. And I could rewrite this as percentages if we choose to. It's up to you. These two things are equivalent, but sometimes it's nice to see them as a percentage as opposed to a decimal or a proper fraction. So it says, based on Mendel's theory of genetics, Mendel expected 25% of peas to be yellow. And I drew a Punnett square over here to reinforce what we learned probably in high school. You saw this. What I have is if I cross two pea pods, these would both be green pea pods because one pea pod has dominant green, recessive yellow, and this other has dominant green, recessive yellow. So you can see you're going to get two dominant greens, which means I'd get a green here. A dominant green, a recessive yellow means I'd be a green here. Dominant green, recessive yellow, still another green. So what we can see is there's only a 25% chance of getting a yellow pea pod from crossing those. And I want to know if this confidence interval really supports the claim that Mendel expected 25%. Well, what we can see is if I draw this as an interval, we got 21.1%, all the way to 27.5%. And I can see that this confidence interval, this interval essentially right here is what we're looking at. What's this 1.96 and negative 1.96 is going to transfer these probabilities. So we're going to get, this interval right here. And what I can see is that 25% is this 25% right here would live, somewhere in the middle of this. It doesn't have to live directly in the middle. It could be right next to this one or right next to this one, as long as it's inside. But 25% is about right here. It's actually a little right of center for the confidence interval, because remember that it's centered at 24.3%. So it's a little bit right, but it's pretty much dead in the center for this particular example. So since the claim is inside of the confidence interval, then we can see that it doesn't contradict this theory, that it looks like Mendel is correct here. Now, I want a small conversation about, why do we get plus or minus an error? What does a 95% confidence interval really represent? Well, what we know is if we repeat this experiment over and over and over again, and let's say we're always getting 690 P's, we can't guarantee it's always going to be 168 yellow and then 522 green, because this is all probabilistic. So sometimes it might be below this 168, sometimes it might be a little bit above this 168. But what we know is when we do that proportion, 95% of the time, that proportion is going to live between these two numbers. So if it's a little bit low, it might be closer to this. A little bit high, it might be closer to this. But 95% of those samples will live inside of this this confidence interval. So if you like the content, please subscribe.